Okay, so in the last video, I demonstrated how we select the base tables, and next we need to work on how to get new content into Roster Maker 15. Now, basically what's going to happen is the program will format any new data that you give it and add that to the base table. So that's why it's important to get the base tables correct. If you want to keep your old content, it will just add the new information to the old, and you have to tell it what the old was, whether that's the original or the most recent updates that you've done, for instance. But in this video, we're going to focus instead on how to get data into here. Now, you can just simply type data into this data grid view, row by row. So if that's how you prefer to do it, then you can do that. I encourage making sure that you format it correctly. The date of birth is going to be in month, month, day, day, year, 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 year format. So for instance, that would be 03, 19, 1996 would be the proper format for the date of birth. Height is 3 digits in centimeters, I believe. So 172, for instance. Weight is in kilograms, I believe. So, and that's 2 digits typically, so 68. The nationality has to be spelled exactly as it is saved in the database, which is consistent with how it's listed in FIFA 15. So, one way that you can check how it's stored in the database is to go to SQL Server, go to the database, and hit Control N to open a new query. And then you can just type select star from nations and run that. And here's the nations table, and that's all of the spellings for all of the nations. If you want them in order so they're easier to read, then you can type order by, and then ASC for ascending, or DESC for descending. Excuse me, order by, and then the column. So order by nation, name, and then ascending or descending. So ascending would look like this. Descending would look like this. Okay, so that's one way that you can make sure that you get the proper spellings. It has to be exact. Otherwise, what it will do is assign them the international ID, which is 75. Okay, so going back here, you could type in, for instance, Ghana. So maybe this player's from Ghana. And here again, the positions have to be spelled just like they are in the database. So for instance, position 1, I can type in something like goalkeeper. But if I were to type in something like goalkeep, or something of that nature, or netminder, for instance, those things would not be able to be interpreted. As well, do not put in the numbers. Don't put in the numbers that are stored in the FIFA database. It's looking for text here, something like goalkeeper. If you want to look at how those are spelled, then this is under a table called translate positions. And then you could order by colloquial position names. And here they are. Or it could be easier to look at it from EA position ID. And here they are. Now it can read a lot of different things that are said in that are pulled from online sources, but if it's not spelled like one of these, then it will either assign them to be a center mid, or it will assign them to be to have no position there. You can edit this table and add new things to it. And you could do that by simply going to, you could add new spellings to it, for instance. So you go to tables, and then down to translate positions, I think it's the last table, then right click on that, edit top 200 rows, and you could put in a new word in here, for instance, and then a new position ID, and it should save that and be okay. So for instance, if I did want to add the word netminder, and then tell it that that's position 0, then it will automatically add the artificial key, it automatically saves, and then if we were to look for that particular spelling, it should now find it. And there you go. So, another way that you can import data into this data grid view, and by the way, this clear data button will go ahead and just clear anything that's in there. Another way that you can do it is perhaps you have a lot of data already stored, as I do here. So the program inside the RAR file comes with or rather inside the support files installation comes with a little template that shows you how you need to structure your data. And I've revised mine a little bit. I've changed mine just a little bit so it'll look slightly different than yours. But generally it needs to be in this format. First name, last name, suggested overall, date of birth, height, weight, then the nation, and then these position IDs. A quick note about suggested overall, give at least one player a suggested overall. Now they can be blank, several players could be blank, but you want to give at least one player a suggested overall so that it knows what to base the other calculations off of. And it's probably best to just go ahead and give it your suggested values, and it will try to get close to those. So once you have it in this format, you can just grab those records and put them in your clipboard, hit copy, and go back to Roster Maker and hit paste from clipboard. And that will get data into the data grid view. I will show you how to execute the data grid view as well as talk about what will happen with each of these rows in the next video.